Chapter 15, The Parable of the Talents. In the teaching of Jesus, the kingdom of God is the kingdom of reality, wholeness, goodness, abundance, order, and perfection, a kingdom that is accessible to every man while he is still upon the earth. That is why Jesus prayed, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven." Metaphysically interpreted, the kingdom of God and the will of God are in essence the very same thing. The kingdom of God has nothing to do with the outer world. It is first a recognition, next a realization, and then a revelation. The person whose thinking, conversation, and living are in harmony with it will never lack anything. His needs will always be supplied. In the parable of the talents, as told in chapter 23 of the Gospel according to St. Matthew, Jesus likened the kingdom of God to a man who is about to leave on a long journey, and who calls his servants together to deliver his goods to them. To one he gives 5 talents, to the other 2, and another 1. The parable is a lesson on the use and neglect of spiritual endowments. It is the answer to the prevailing belief in the inequality of supply. If one wishes to lose his endowment, the energies and powers which God has given him, he lets them alone. If he wishes to multiply them, he puts them to work. The parable has 3 parts. 1, the presentation of the gift. 2, the use that was made of them. And 3, the accounting or reckoning. Let us look first at the presentation. Every man was given something to go on. We all differ in opportunities for increasing our endowment, but we all share the same mind. We all have the same potentialities. It is not our endowment that determines the increase, but the use we make of them. Every man begins, said Henry Ford, with all there is, the essence and substance of all that is here with us now, and we can appropriate and use it. The 3 differed greatly in the use of the talents. The 5-talent man was a shrewd investor. He had a consciousness of supply and doubled his investment. The 2-talent man doubled his gift also, but he did it through sheer force and physical effort. The 3rd man was a different type. He was both afraid and slothful. He buried his gift in the earth. That is, he neglected it. He neither sensed the responsibility that is imposed nor the possibility of its increase. With every gift there is a corresponding responsibility. If the gift is neglected, it atrophies. If it is used, it increases in size and power. The 3rd part of the parable is the reckoning. The central figure in the drama, of course, is the 1-talent man. 2 of the men were commended for their faithfulness, but the 3rd man lost his gift. Take ye away therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him that hath 10 talents. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he has. The increase in the parable went to the man who was already the richest. The increase today goes to him who is already rich in consciousness. The inner meaning of the parable. If there is one thing in the Bible that might stir up the resentment, it is in the verse in the parable of the talents that says, "For unto him that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath." It is cruel, it is unjust, you say wrathfully. It is a gross violation of human rights. It might be all right for the rich to give to the poor, but to take away from the poor to give to the rich is a disgraceful and intolerable procedure. But wait a minute, you are reading into the story something which is not there. Jesus was not talking about material possessions, but about the law of supply and demand. He is making an out-and-out statement of divine law. He is saying that the faithful use of what we have will bring us rich rewards. He is also giving us the steps which we must take in developing a consciousness of abundance. We do not get excited and resentful when we are told that 3 times 3 makes 9 instead of 10. We do not get mad when we are told that like attracts like, or that the matter expands when heated, that water seeks its own level, or that whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. We are delighted to know that the universe in which we live is dependable and law-abiding. Then why should we resent this specific law? When we understand the law, we shall see that it is a means of building a mighty measure of the kingdom of God within ourselves. Jesus was not talking about external circumstance or concrete possessions, but about mental states or degrees of consciousness. One man had a cumulative consciousness, had a good and abundant measure. One had a divided consciousness, had a good in limited measure. The other man had an inert or letting go consciousness, had nothing in the end. Let us remember that the basis of all attraction or loss is in the consciousness of man, and not in outer circumstance or conditions or things. It makes no difference what a man may be seeking, whether it be mental, material, or spiritual riches. If his consciousness is cumulative in a given direction, he will positively accumulate in that direction. Rich men are not determined by favorable opportunities or circumstance, nor poor men by the lack of them. Their richness and poorness depend upon the construction, tendency, and use of their mind. To him that hath shall be given, and from him that hath not, even that which he hath shall be taken away. This law holds good on every plane of life. It means simply that the increase of possession is the result of a cumulative consciousness, and their loss is the result of an inert or indifferent consciousness. Since each individual determines his own type of consciousness, talking oneself out of the indifference and into the cumulative consciousness becomes an immediate obligation. Making an appraisal. Most of us are with our talents like the man who buried his gift in the earth. We have latent powers, locked-up abilities, undiscovered possibilities, enormous reserves, countless resources, immortal capital upon which we never draw. We are beggars sitting on bags of gold. Our talents are legion, but they are lying idle. We never do anything to stir them up and to bring them out. Jesus was very hard on the one-talent man, you recall. He had the same possibilities as the other two men, but he failed to develop them. He had no interest to show because he had made no investment. We feel sorry for the one-talent man, not because of his fear and sloth, but because of his wasted possibility and lost opportunity. The emphasis of the parable is not upon God's investment, but upon man's return. For every gift, God demands an accounting of us. For every planting, he demands a harvest. The law is inexorable. We must use or lose. If we handle our gifts poorly, they are lessened or withdrawn. Let me consider what talents I have neglected. What are they? First, God has given me a mind and a power to think. I can choose my aspirations, attitude, belief, conviction, feeling, and thought. I can create and mold my own destiny. At the center of my being, I have access to all power, but if I use only a small measure of power, I am carrying part of it hidden. If I use it to create evil instead of good, I am perverting it and impoverishing myself. I also have a talent for authority, dominion, patience, thanksgiving, and forgiveness, a talent for cooperation, industry, diligence, and dispatch, a talent for joy, faith, renewal, blessing, courage, health, strength, prosperity, confidence, peace, tolerance, service, enthusiasm, and kindness. I have the power to see what I want to see and to do what I want to do. I have the power to rise or fall, to be strong or weak, rich or poor. If I am not actively using these talents, I am burying them in the ground. If I say I am afraid, I can't, I am worn out, or I am sick, I too am judged and condemned for my non-use of the talent for life.